Okay, we're going to see if we can blend this. I'm coming from no paint. This is the dry red. I'm going to grab that edge, and if it gives me a pretty blend, which it is, I'm good to go. If it just moves and disappears, see, that's a gentle, soft, very pretty little blend right there. But when they're too wet, my brush would have taken that paint off. And then when I moved out here, it would have put the paint over here. So I don't want that. Now, I'm not going clear in on the dark. I need the gradation from the light to the middle to the dark. So as I'm going to blot my brush on a paper towel, as it's got paint on it now, and I'm going to come down here and lay it in the dry paint or no paint and do the little rubbing action again and see if it'll work. And yes, that one's going to rub nicely too. You never know how long you've got, and it changes. Now, down in here, I don't want to lose that, but I don't want it quite that light, and this is pretty heavy paint. Well, it's going to go just fine. It's moving in there. So this is how the dark ones are done. The ones up in here now have yellow and red, and some of them will have a little bit of dark because we still need more definition than we have right now. But as you're doing these, you don't have to just sit here and watch paint dry. You can move on down the group, and next group can be drying where you come back up and see if you can blend the first group. And the grapes over here on the picture are done just like the dark one I just did, with the darkest definition down to separate each grape, and then allow it to set up, and don't drag your new dark all over your old dark. You're just going to have a darker area within your dark that blends, and you can still see this, you can still see this. As many values as we can get into the grapes, the more realistic they will look. Everything now has had its application of umbers, some with just yellow and red, some with yellow, red, and dark in a small area on top of where the red is. Those that are dark have had the red umber and then the dark umber placed, and possibly placed again. This completes the formation of the umbers, and I'm going to come in tight now on the ones on the picture. These are all dark, and they have then had the red under them and the dark placed where it's indicated in your pattern, and those that are darker have had the dark put on them more than once. The leaves are just through the yellow and the red on the tips, and so the next step is to increase the dark, and you will see that in your picture on page 4, where the dark tips or dark shadow areas have been increased again. The handle at this time, and let me zoom back out, the handle has been through the yellow and the red application, and there's still some darker areas towards the bottom and on the inside, which you'll see in your instructions where dark has got to be placed. Our next item to do then will be to go and add some shading into the background and into the cup and into the foreground.